welcome to another episode of In the Know, where we interview topic specialists to keep you in the know. Today is March 30th, 2020, and in these unprecedented times where most of us are stuck at home, camped out because of the shelter in or stay at home orders, now, probably just like any other time, would be a good time to really get down to the brass tacks on studying what's going on in your household if there's a situation pertaining to addictions. Today, we have a special guest, Patrick Hagler. Patrick is a licensed marriage and family therapist, a licensed chemical dependency counselor, and he works the Choices program at the St. Thomas High School here in Houston, Texas. Patrick, thank you for coming on In the Know and help us understand what we can be doing right now that we have, if you will, extra time to look into and be more concerned, particularly now because everybody's just so on edge.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I think now is a really good opportunity for people to develop really healthy sort of pastimes now that we have all this free time on our hands, and to really be able to recognize patterns. One of the things that I am concerned about is if people are using substances or alcohol to relieve boredom or to change how they feel, that if that is done consistently over time, it could develop a pattern or a habit, which may be really hard to quit once we get out of this shelter in place and we're going back to our normal lives. It may be hard to undo some of those habits that we formed during this time.
Oh, understood. So I guess maybe shame on me. I joke a little bit about having wine coming in from Napa on a regular basis, and maybe that's not really appropriate. And I mean that though, a word of caution to myself. I get it. So what are you feeling right now as this is going on, particularly as it relates to the teenagers that you work with that are so susceptible during that age, and now with these trying times? What are parents needing to be looking for? And tell us, how all these addictions work and what we need to be conscious of, please.
Well, I think for parents is really to be proactive in engaging with their kids, whether that is playing sports outside, playing games at home, doing things that are fun that don't, so the kids don't have to rely on sitting in their room trying to find ways to entertain themselves. I mean, this period of time is when kids are really, they're programmed to be reaching out to other people. They're programmed to be creating relationships, and to be stuck in a house right now as a teenager has got to be a real difficult situation. So for parents, doing whatever they can to help the kids to learn new skills on how to enjoy this downtime, that hopefully doesn't include, drinking lots of alcohol, vaping, and using marijuana and all these other things that a kid might think is a good idea to help relieve boredom.
So you feel that this stems mainly from boredom, whether it's now or during the regular course of it. This is something that you're involved in on a day-to-day basis at your work. What are parents needing to, it's hard to say, how do you take a child from boredom to excitement if they're just not interested?
Yeah, that's a tough one. So if you're not able to do that, I think being very vigilant on what the child is up to, and not relying on the internet or video gaming to kind of keep the child occupied.
So you're promoting some FaceTime visits, and a lot of us are having virtual lunches or virtual dinners with our friends. That is, us adults. It's not something we invented. It's happening across the country. Are you advocating that for the kids too, to get on the phone and have a FaceTime visit with their best friend? And
Oh yeah, absolutely. Zoom call with 20 or 30 people maybe. Excuse me. Yeah, great opportunity to use technology to interface with each other. I think that's a really uh, uh, great option. And for parents too, what a great opportunity to have a conversation with your kids about maybe some issues that you haven't talked much about before, talking about alcohol use, talking about marijuana use, um, getting their opinions on it. What do you think about marijuana and being legalized in other states? How do you feel about that? And really having a conversation in the space that we have now that we really didn't have before. It's a really good opportunity.
wow, you just touched on a really hot topic there. I mean, I'm very happy, and I speak for many parents that here in Texas, we still have the law on our side with this marijuana issue. But talking to these young teenagers and even the young adults, and they say, well, gosh, if I was living in Colorado or California or wherever, it would make a difference. Why are we having this conversation? How do what is your answer for parents that get that kind of response from their children? What can they say, or what are we supposed to say?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, the main thing is to get the facts, to really get the information about that's accurate, because kids will often say, well, they're great little litigators, and they'll be able to point to this website and that website that says to be able to support whatever kind of a narrative that they're trying to support. But a lot of websites that kids go to, you have to see who's paying for that website. And a lot of times it's either the marijuana purveyors, or there's some kind of an agenda. So I would encourage parents for getting information to go to a .gov or a .org link where you get real information, and to learn about actually how these high-risk behaviors affect adolescent brain development. It's a very different conversation when you're talking about substance use with an adult that's over 25 versus an adolescent whose brain is still growing. There's a lot of the ability for children to really slow the growth of that prefrontal cortex, which can affect them throughout their life.
Oh my goodness. Well, Patrick, that my goodness, would we be able to delve into that deeply in another episode with you, like real soon? We're kind of out of time now, and you sort of opened our eyes to, my goodness, a lot of different things. Might we bring you back very soon for our next episode after this one, and get more deeply into the science of this, whether it's the marijuana, the vaping, or the other addictions? Can you do that for us, Patrick?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And once again, you're in the know because we bring you knowledgeable people who can help you be informed. See you soon.